Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 5 Soviet Premium Destroyer Gremyashchy. It has 4 main guns, 6 torpedoes, 12 AA guns, a surface detection of 6.8 kilometers, top speed 37.7 knots, total health 13,100. For my modules, reduced crit chance on main battery and propulsion, better main battery accuracy. For my commander, situation awareness, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, and superintendent. We are on the map Solomon Islands, and this is going to be an okay game. I've been spamming my Russian and my German, ready to go whenever the patch unlocks, and I'm really excited. There's going to be bonus content at the end of this for those who care. But right now, we captured B. The enemy has captured C. Looks like a lot of the enemy is headed for C. Most likely it was a destroyer that captured C. It happened so fast, and you don't see a ship that could possibly capture it. We have plenty of spotting, and we're not seeing it, so it is a destroyer. We just don't know where they are. We're spotted by the enemy aircraft that is hovering over the enemy cruiser. We're going to send out torpedoes. The aircraft is past. He's not going to see this. We're going to see how well this works out. Probably not that well. The enemy is wary of the friendlies that are behind me, and we're spotted. Yep, here he is. Enemy destroyer drops off almost immediately. We're moving back. He pops his smoke, and he engages us, does minimal damage. We don't want to kill ourselves. This is the best way to kill yourself, is to overextend and then die. So the enemy destroyer, in the smoke somewhere, the enemy also has the ability to push forward, so we should play in a defensive manner. We have 2 friendly battleships, 2 friendly cruisers, and 2 friendly destroyers that can hold this flank rather well. They need to do everything in their power not to go killing themselves. We're going to fire on the enemy Omaha. He has overextended a little bit, but he's also aware of this, and he's trying to move back. We set fires. He's got multiple fires that he has to deal with. He's probably going to use damage control if he has it available. If he does not, then he's going to take a lot of damage. That friendly battleship continues to move forward for some reason. I don't understand why you would push forward against such an onslaught of enemies. You can see 7, 8 enemy ships in front of you, and you choose to push forward into the mouth of hell. He does have the ability to fire on that enemy Omaha, but he's not paying attention. I'm near my max range. It's going to be inaccurate, so it's not really a viable strategy. We do see an enemy destroyer attempting to capture B, and I'm going to go try and defend that. The enemy destroyer at B is about halfway through the capture process. Even though the B in front of me is not showing that it's being captured, I wonder if that was just a display bug. Usually you'll see the icon itself changing, not just at the top of the screen. We're able to land a couple shots and defend the cap, even though he's not going to get that cap. We've already seen friendlies land shots, interrupt his ability. Friendly destroyer is on a head-on against the enemy destroyer, and it's going to probably work to our favor because our guy has more health than him. Now, you can't play this incorrectly, destroyer. You can't put yourself in a position to die. He sends out his torpedoes, and he misses completely. Are you kidding me? The enemy sends out his torpedoes, and it looks like he might actually hit his target. The enemy destroyer takes out the friendly destroyer, and that just is upsetting. You had more health, you had the ability to ambush him, and you put yourself in a position where you gave up your ship. A 1-to-1 trade is not worth it at all. It's too early in the game. You should just try and poke damage. We attempt to fire on him, but he's going rather slow. So, first shot, incorrectly aimed. Second shot, much better. We're able to do 1,200 points of damage. This guy's going to die so fast. His rate of fire cannot keep up with us. One more salvo, and we take out the enemy destroyer. We're also successful in defending the capture point. We have 2 captures to theirs, but we've lost 2 extra ships to theirs. One of them being that battleship. Yes, his dead corpse is at D8. Can you believe he got that close to 8 enemy ships? Yeah. That's not how you play battleships, my friend. That's how you die. So, we see an Omaha and a Kuma somewhere in front of us. We could engage them. An enemy battleship that was engaging the friendlies at A has to move back. This Omaha is attempting to capture B, most likely. And if he chooses a position where we cannot engage him, then he's going to be successful. There's also another enemy cruiser that can see us. And we try and fire over the island. We're unsuccessful. This is not an ideal situation. The enemy knows where we are. There is an enemy destroyer coming up on the east side. He's also in a Gremyashchy. The ship is fun. It's a good ship. It's a great ship to get your Russian destroyer captain going. And we show our side. We're ready to go. This guy knows where we are. He's coming right at us. He fires on the friendly cruiser right behind me. We use all our guns on this guy. We're doing tons of damage. Tons of damage. Every round is doing around 900. We take a propulsion. We don't have last stand, so it is critical. We hold our ability to remove the propulsion damage because it's not critical that it's gone. We wait until we're out of danger, and then we do it. We also pop smoke, and we're going to engage the Omaha in the smoke. We're not going to move. One thing you might ask, why did you use damage control if propulsion was knocked out? Wouldn't it make you stay stationary? Whenever steering or propulsion are knocked out, there's a delay whenever you give an order to change direction or speed, so you got to deal with that. So we're completely stopped in the smoke, firing on the enemy. We're doing a ton of damage. We set him on fire. He's used damage control. He has to deal with that. He isn't really interested in dealing with the fact that he's taking a lot of damage from a target he cannot return fire on. This is very disrespectful, in my opinion. He is of the assumption that I am not going to be able to kill him. If you're in a situation where you can't engage the target, you need to kind of move out of the way and force the target to change their position. You can see this guy, he is not giving me any respect. He thinks I won't be able to do enough damage to cause him to die. That's just not true. The Soviet destroyers will have the most success with this particular strategy in the coming weeks. Everyone's going to have to deal with new destroyers that are top tier in the gun damage. Something in the realm of cruiser damage output with their guns, so you got to be very careful. The smoke has dissipated though. We take fire from an enemy ship, and one of the key skills if you're using this particular strategy is to understand how long your smoke lasts. It's one of those hidden stats. Some ships, their smoke lasts longer than others, like a US destroyer, while others, like a Japanese, it's a minimal amount of time, somewhere in the realm of 20 seconds. So we'll see where the Soviet destroyers fall on that totem pole. But this Omaha, man, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. He just completely ignored us. He didn't give us the respect that he should have, and he suffered for that. We have the enemy battleship. We're going to send our torpedoes, and we're going to try and get out of detection range. It is a disadvantage for us to stay detected. We need to be able to ambush the enemy. We've fallen off detection because we haven't fired. Another aspect of Soviet destroyers that I think will be a part of their gameplay is firing outside of the concealment of the ship, not being visible even while firing. Remember, firing only extends the visibility of your ship by 2 kilometers. Theoretically, a Soviet destroyer, and let's watch these torpedoes. Looks like we're going to get 2 torpedoes on the enemy Wyoming. A lot of damage, caused flooding. But unfortunately, we don't kill him. He's still left up. He still needs to fall. Our team as a whole has given up a lot, and it looks like the enemy is attempting to capture A. So as I was saying, the Soviet guns are going to be very effective, and they have extreme range. Their velocity is actually quite good. When you compare it to a US destroyer can outrange the detection even while firing. They could still remain stealth, but their velocity is so difficult to compensate for that it's very hard to land those long shots. The Soviet destroyer guns are going to be complete opposite. They're going to probably have the highest velocity of any small caliber guns for destroyers, and they're going to probably have one of the highest rate of fire, with their 130 just scaling up constantly. I wouldn't be shocked if you saw Soviet destroyers engaging outside of the detectability of the ship when they're firing. So if you are detected at 9 kilometers, before You fire, you'll be detected at 11 kilometers. I could see skilled destroyers just staying at 11.5 kilometers, engaging the target, not being spotted, and doing a ton of damage. I'm interested to explore this. And this Wyoming, he didn't give me any respect. And we take him out. He had to use damage control, obviously, on the Flood. The Flood was too powerful. Once he did that, he was susceptible to fires, which we put on his ship. And you could see the results. Enemy Wyoming dead, minimal damage sustained. We are detected because we still have the fire mechanic. Okay, now it drops off. The enemy Wyoming saw us for a split second, fired on our position. And no cigar. Good. We got an enemy Omaha and a Wyoming. Now we don't want to engage both at the same time. The enemy Omaha is much lower, both in his total health pool and the percentage he's at. He's probably at 70% of his health, and it's only 16,000. We can easily do that. We're going to fire on his position. We're going to pop smoke. We're going to come to a complete stop. He's probably going to... No, he didn't even land that. He didn't land that. He's already dead, okay? This is how devastating this strategy is. In a ship that has the rate of fire of the Soviet destroyers, we're doing around 1,000 to 1,500 per salvo. We earn Confederate, which is awesome. There you go. We get 10 flags for extra XP. He's put out the fire, so we know that he's susceptible to more fires. A key bit, you want to try and spread your fire if you have HE. You can see how the hull is blackening. The blackened hull starts taking less and less damage. So you want to kind of spread it out and get the most bang for your buck on these ships. But you also want to be accurate. You don't want to sacrifice your ability to hit the ship so you can maximize the total potential damage of your ship. You can see the back half is very shallow, it's very hard to see, very hard to hit. Any time we're firing, we just want to make sure we make contact with the ship. We set him on fire, he's going to die to probably the fire. Friendly sends out torpedoes. These guys, they just want to scare the crap out of me by sending them out so close. We were able to take out the Omaha. Meh, who would have seen that coming? Enemy Wyoming continues to move closer and closer. We are detected. Looks like the smoke has dissipated. We send out our torpedoes in a narrow spread, but he's already maneuvering for the first set of torpedoes. I should have paid more attention. I did not. And I'm going to have unsuccessful torpedoes unless the Wyoming returns on his initial course, which is most likely not going to happen. But anytime you see torpedo bombers or allied torpedoes in the water, you need to consider that the enemy might see them and change their course abruptly. So it's in your best interest to try and avoid having torpedoes going at a target that is already maneuvering. You kind of want to ambush them. Maybe you could catch them off guard. Maybe they're looking at the map. Maybe they're just not 100% in control of their ship when they're just sailing. That's really the ideal time to torpedo the enemy. Now, we're doing a lot of damage, and we've done everything in our power to help our team win, and even that is not enough. This team really didn't do anything. Just one little bit of damage could have been the difference between a loss and a win. We still have the chance to win, but we don't have a lot of time to do it. We have to do full damage to 3 battleships in a destroyer with torpedoes that are okay. They're slow, so the enemy can have an idea of where they're coming. We sent ours in the path that this Wyoming chose. It looks like we're going to land at least 2. 2 should be sufficient to kill him. We also cause flooding. Oh, he's barely alive. We're just going to finish him off. We don't need to wait for the flood to kill him. And enemy Wyoming's dead. Next target is the New York. He's basically full health. We got to deal with him firing broadside on our position. I'm not sure. It looks like the enemy battleship is capturing A. Okay, we got 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It's probably going to take us... We're doing 1K a salvo, roughly. and it's a 4-second reload, so it will probably take us at least a minute and a half to take this guy out without using our torpedoes. And the New York in particular has a lot of guns that we have to deal with. He's already gone through what I thought was all, but no, he didn't go through the middle one. So we set him on fire. He's immune to the fire, so he's used damage control. We send out our torpedoes. He's going to see everything, and we're going to try and reestablish all our guns on target. He's going to probably fire in the next 10 seconds. So what I like to do is I like to angle and then abruptly change my angle when I see him firing. He fires, abruptly change. Unfortunately, he hits us square on the nose, causes a fire, and we don't have damage control up. We have to use our smoke, and we were the ones spotting the enemy New York. Hopefully my torpedoes can do damage to him. A lot of times when you have torpedoes in the water, you want to kind of distract them by engaging them, and our torpedoes do take him out. Fantastic. He was most likely distracted. He was trying to take us out with his guns, and he didn't have enough time to maneuver in order to avoid the torpedoes. Damage control is back up. We use it to turn off the fire. Fire on a destroyer isn't a big deal. It's around 75 to 100 damage, so it's not going to kill you. Just need to be aware that it is a source of damage, and if you do have damage control, you should use it. Now, we have the chance. We have a minute and 45 seconds, a Wyoming at 50% life. We need to get in range immediately. There's not going to be a chance to use torpedoes, I'm afraid. It's just going to take too long to get in range, so it's all going to be gunfire. My friendly battleship is out of position in order to engage the enemy battleship. He's in New York. I don't really want him to die. If he does die, the game's over. So we're in range to fire our main guns. We are looking for a potential shot on him. At this point, it doesn't matter if he detects us or not. We gotta kill him. We've got less time, perhaps, than the timer says, because they're at 952 points. We gotta get a kill. We only have our front guns. We're trying to move in range to have better effective fire. We do set him on fire. He puts it out. He's going to be immune for 20 seconds. And then we should be able to set another fire. I just don't think we have the chance. We're doing everything we can. We're getting no damage. We're taking out modules. Who cares about AA guns? We've only got probably 15 points to go. Come on, get him dead. Get a lucky shot somewhere. Friendly battleship. We're going to take fire. We got to be careful. It hits everywhere but us. So that's a loss. 7 kills. A couple torpedo kills. Mostly gun kills. 500,000 in credits. We did 2 of our missions. So, you know, there was some good in this game. High caliber. Confederate. It was a really good game. I just wish I would have won. The entire enemy team scored less than us, of course. 1,992 base XP in a loss. I'm very proud of my performance. We did around 150,000 points of damage. Not bad. Not bad at all. This Soviet destroyer definitely performs quite well. I'm going to go over the Soviet destroyers and talk about where I think they're going to fit in the meta. That's the bonus content. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time. For those that want to, the next part will be me discussing the ships. So here's the ship version. Apologies in advance for my microphone. I don't have as precise control as I do when I do my commentary for my replays. Otherwise, let's go right into it. Tier 1 Soviet cruiser, the Orlan. This is actually a fantastic Tier 1. It's got AA. It's really fast compared to the other ones, about 5 knots faster. Great rudder shift. Turn circle is pretty good. It's got the 130mm guns with a 12 rounds per minute, and it is awesome. This is going to be a fun Tier 1 to play through, and I look forward to it. But other than that, you're not going to play this very long. A couple games, and you're done with this. Tier 2, the Storzo, or the Storo. It's going to be the Storo to me, or the Storos. The Storos is an Imperial, a Russian Imperial Navy, so this is pre-Soviet. And it looks ugly as hell. It looks really crappy in all aspects. looks like you can't fire both back guns directly behind you. You'll have to angle your ship, and you're going to give more area for the enemy to fire on. Torpedo range is garbage, but that is the Soviet line. 3 kilometers. That's awful. How the hell are you going to make use of that? Wow. It's really fast. It's got great concealment. Rudder shift time is fantastic. You're going to use these guns mostly, in my opinion, and they're not very good. You drop down to 102mm guns. You really want the 130mm. But, you know, it's a tier 2. Whatever. Tier 3. The Dirtsky. It sounds Soviet, but it is not. It is Russian Imperial Navy. And it's got the 102mm guns, which is garbage. It's got 3-kilometer range on its torpedoes, which is also garbage. So, this ship, you're going to want to get through it as fast as you can. Concealment is alright, but you can't really outrange your gun to concealment factor. So, yeah. I'm not really excited to go through this portion of the tree. Just want to get through it. And that's the Dirtsky. It's a pretty ugly ship. It looks pretty bulky. Don't know how effective it's going to be. We got the Tier 4, the Isyaslav, whatever. We've got the Isa. The Isa is a Imperial Russian Navy. Still not Soviet. Still has 102mm guns, which is garbage. Just adds more. It's got a ton of torpedoes everywhere. And it's the same crappy range. The upgrade is 5 kilometers, which is nice. So you might make use of that. And that's a little unfortunate that it takes you Tier 4 to actually have a range on your torpedoes that you could make use of. But that's the Soviet destroyer line. You have to use your guns 98% of the time. Yeah, there's nothing really here. AA is crappy, but who cares? Concealment is getting worse and worse. It's getting slower and slower. Rudder shift time is alright. Not really a ship I'm going to care about. So let's go on to the Tier 5. Tier 5, this is nearly identical to the Gremyashchy. This is the class of destroyer, the Jimny, but it lacks that torpedo range. Yeah, its torpedo range is garbage, 4 kilometers. So just imagine me playing my games without using torpedoes, basically. That's what you get out of this ship. She's alright, but she isn't the premium ship, that's for certain. Upgrades. It upgrades AA. Like, who cares? AA's garbage. Yeah. I'm probably not excited about this ship. It's going to be a huge downgrade for me, personally, from the premium, because having the ability to use torpedoes is very useful. Alright, the Tier 6, the Ognevo, I think. It is a ship that actually matters. This is the first ship that has ranked play potential, and it looks pretty large. This command tower is giant. This is like cruiser level size command tower. It does have the 130mm guns, which is awesome. Same 12 rounds per minute. Damage doesn't go up. So I'm interested to see where they start increasing the damage potential. You only have 4 guns, and it looks like, yeah, you only have 2 turrets. So you lose one, 50% gone instantly. AA's garbage. Max speed is insanely fast. 37.3 knots, it's very nice. Rudder shift time, it's alright. Surface detection, we're starting to get into why the Soviet destroyer line is going to be hard to play. You're going to be easily detected, and you don't have a lot of hit points. You get 15,500, and that's right where the top tier US and Japanese destroyers have. So at a tier 6, you're having the same hit points as tier 9s and 10s in the other lines, but your concealment is terrible compared to them. She's all right. She gets crappy torpedoes again that are really fast. 4 kilometers is just really hard to work with, but I'm interested to play her. I'm interested to play all of them, so this will be real fun. Yeah, the Kiev. This guy looks sick. He has 3 turrets with 2 guns each, 130. Rate of fire is the same, but you get more potential damage per salvo, so that's fantastic. The ship itself looks sick. I love this command tower. I love how it like gradually gets up. The little tiny boat is pretty cute. You got the stacked torpedo tubes, which is awesome. I believe it's 2x3. It's 5 each. They got the same 4 kilometers. Is the upgrade? Nope. Wow, the upgrade's pretty bad. You get more damage, but it goes slower. I don't know how effective that will be. You're going to be in a situation where you're going to be at point blank range. Speed might be irrelevant, but I don't know how much damage. Yeah, this is probably going to be essential. I mean, 4 kilometers. You're going to be right on top of the guy. If you ever get a chance to use him. 90% is going to be these guns. And the guns are awesome. AA, terrible. Concealment, 8.1 kilometers. Wow. These are light cruisers. These are not destroyers. And they're going to have to deal with aircraft that can easily see them. Their rudder shift is alright. It's rather sluggish. Speed is insane. 42.9 knots. Wow. That's awesome. Gun dispersion hasn't gotten worse. It's still amazing. It's still going to be all about these guns. But this is pretty sick. I really like this guy, just the way he looks. Let's go on to the Tier 8. The Tashkent. The Tashkent is a Tier 8 that has the same 6-gun setup. Looks pretty sick also. It's a pretty tall destroyer. Man, these are all really tall. It's got the same... Oh, no, it's got upgrade. 8 kilometer. Wow. So the Tier 8 is where it starts getting good. Okay. Concealment is pretty close to the torpedo range. You can work with that with modules and commander skills, so you can outrange your torpedoes. Speed is garbage. 55 knots at 8 kilometers. Wow. AA, again, it's a destroyer. It's just a really big destroyer. So you got to deal with being seen a lot. Maneuverability, again, really fast. Rudder shift time takes a hit. It's probably going to be an easy target for a aircraft carrier. It really is. These guys are getting real big, and you're not seeing the kind of reward that you expect out of a destroyer. Yeah, I'm definitely going to instantly buy the concealment module when it becomes available at Tier 7 or 8, I think. Just need to make sure you invest in it. The Tier 9. Let's go. It's got like a bulbous thing. That's pretty cool. Looks like a droid or something. Something out of like Star Wars. But it's the Udalal. Udalal. Anyway, it's got the same 6-gun setup on 3 turrets. You could upgrade the rate of fire. You can upgrade the turn speed. Wow. Whoa, these turns really quickly. When did that happen? Wow, that's a sick upgrade. You're gonna have to sacrifice concealment though for the hull upgrade. But 8.3, that's near the other version. That's not too bad. AA actually is getting pretty good. Torpedo range still difficult to work with, but it gets a little bit of speed back. This is a Tier 9 though, so yeah, it'll be interesting. You've got what looks like you've got 3 kilometers to work with, where your gun range will increase you to 9.7 or what is it, 10.3, but you'll be able to compensate by having all the concealment stats. It'll be very interesting. I'm going to try and run this guy kind of like a hybrid between a cruiser and a destroyer, and I'm going to get all the concealment stuff because I put precedence on my destroyers to have it. If you can equip it, it's getting put on you. So this could be pretty fun. Yeah, and it looks cool. This looks real cool. So we've got the tier 10, the Khabarovsk. Yeah, the Khabarovsks. It is interesting. It comes with a upgrade that you could choose. Wow, you give up a lot of range for more damage. Don't know if I would recommend that. Most likely at tier 10, everyone's a lot better, so you want to keep some range on them. Probably going to keep with the default. But 6 kilometers, can we make it under 6 kilometers? No. We can get it down to 8.1, and then we can get it another. We can get it down to 7.2, 7.3, and maybe under 7, just under 7, if that. Yeah, no, that's too close. You're getting too close. You're gonna be detected for at least a kilometer. That's scary. But the torpedoes, they serve their purpose. Main battery, same rounds per minute. Wow, that's crazy. The turret rotation gets better and better though. So I guess whenever you start seeing the really nice turrets, they actually can rotate and track their targets effectively. AA is actually pretty sick. 37 rating. Range is okay. Yeah, it's okay. Rudder shift is fantastic. Maximum speed, of course, it's super fast. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. This one looks to be a keeper, definitely. We're gonna see how the light cruiser role, that's basically what these are, is gonna fit. So yeah, that is these Soviet destroyers. You could see the tech tree is exciting. I think it's going to be a fun role to play. These past 2 Soviet destroyer games I've shared with you are an example of how you should look to play them. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.